and welcome to my channel. I am Stephanie and this is my top 10 audiobooks of 2018. It's always fun to listen and work and do cleaning and work out and wait for practice to be over. So I have devoured quite a few audiobooks in the year of 2018, and here are 10 of my favorite picks. Now, some of them are series and some of them are standalone books, but there are 10 things that I want to talk to you guys about when it comes to audiobooks. They are in no particular order, so it's not like best to worst to best. I loved every single one of these for very different reasons. And I'm going to explain to you why. So the first one I'm going to talk to you about is Faking It by Bromberg. This is the second book that I have listened to by Bromberg, and I really enjoyed this one. This one deals with a woman that is sort of down on her luck, but not completely down on her luck. I would say she's a plus size model, and she's had some things that have worked out for her, but she's just not hitting like she should be. Well, she gets mistaken as a dog walker while she's on her way to an interview by this just brute of a guy. And when she takes his dog back, she's like, I broke my heel and I missed my interview. Now, what are you going to do to help me out? Well, in turn, he invites her to a industry party and then gets caught up in a bit of a lie. And I loved this book, listening to it in audio, because their banter back and forth was amazing. It is a dual narrated book, so you have a male narrator and a female narrator for the two characters, and it was just so much fun. I enjoyed their banter back and forth, and I don't know if it was the way that they had produced it out or what have you, but it really felt like you were getting two different characters and you were hearing both of their sides and how they were feeling and things like that. And I just loved it. It was sexy, it was hot, and it had an emotional quality to it that you were like, that's very interesting. But yes, so they end up in a fake relationship, and you get to deal and hear about how they navigate that fake relationship. The next book I'm going to talk about is The Brombergs +1 by Selena Kitt. Now, this book was straight fire. I mean, this narrator narrated these characters amazingly. This is an erotic short story, and oh my goodness, some people don't connect when there are graphic sex scenes that are read to them in narration, but this one, let me tell you, if you can deal with watching, say, Skinamax on, Cinemax After Dark or FXXX, I mean, just wow. That's what this was in my ear. Straight fire. I mean, wow, this narrator did an amazing job at bringing the sexiness and the tone that was needed. She was on point with the sounds that she made, and it was just like I was right there in the scene with them as if I was watching it on television or one of those premium movie channels. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the Bridgewater County series by Vanessa Vale. This includes Ride Me Dirty, Claim Me Hard, Take Me Fast, and Hold Me Close. All four of those books are in a series for a polyamorous community, and I really enjoyed them. But the narrator brought such emotion. These books easy to devour. They were sweet to my ears, and I enjoyed listening to them read this story to me. All of my books that I listen to are unabridged, so I'm getting every single word that comes off of the page. But when you listen to someone narrate something, or if you listen to someone talk to, while I'm talking to you guys can see or feel the emotion that I'm bringing to you. So if you were just to take out the video, close your eyes, and just listen to my voice, while I narrate or while I explain how much I enjoyed this book series and how easily I was able to devour it, if my voice is tasty to your ears, you're going to be able to listen to me over and over and over again. And that's exactly what I felt about these narrators or narrator that did these books, because I was very emotionally invested into these couples' stories. The next thing I'm going to talk to you about is A Real Dirty Duet by Meghan March, and that is Real Dirty and Real Sexy. These two books, I would definitely have to say it was more the narrator than it was the story that got me, because the narrator had me on edge. As soon as that first book ended, I was like, I have got to know what happens, because once again, all that emotion that was put into the story and brought out those words of the author was just phenomenal. Phenomenal. Next book I'm going to talk about, or next thing I'm going to talk to you about, is If I Only Knew by Corinne Michaels. This is going to be released here shortly in ebook form. It was only offered as Audible original to Audible personnel, or you could buy it on Audible. And I got to listen to it early. It was amazing. As soon as it went up for pre-order, I pre-ordered it and ordered it. So when it released in Audible, I got it, and I was like, yes, 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 yes. And her male narrator is British, or he may not be British, but his accent for the Brit that is the male character of this book was absolutely amazing. Like, here, take my panties. Yep. Panty dropping British accent. Yes. If British accents are your thing, check this book out. The next thing I'm going to talk to you about is Our Unscripted Story by L.A. Fiore. And here's another panty dropping narrator who, this was an Irish accent. So just melted my ears, had me all into the story, and just, oh, so good. So very good. And just, I was just there for it. I was there for it with his Irish accent, and I just couldn't. It was just so good. So very good. The next thing I'm going to talk about is Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. And this book, the narrators brought the emotion that was needed to this very delicate and sensitive book and story about domestic violence, and how dealing with it can affect you, how dealing with it as a community should affect you, how your thinking maybe should change if you have different thoughts about domestic. It was just, and I chalk it up to the narrator for her female character being absolutely amazing. It was like I was sitting with one of my friends going through this situation with them, and I was there for them. I empathize with them. I sympathize with them. I was emotionally just connected because of this narrator's voice, and I can't stop saying enough good things about this book, about this author. Just yes, and her narrators were on point. The next thing I'm going to talk about is The Smoke and Mirrors Duet by Jodi Ellen Malpas, which is the controversial princess and his true queen. And once again, the narrator, this is a single narrator, which was absolutely amazing. Surprised the crap out of me when I found out that it was only one narrator. She does an amazing British accent, and then to turn around and also do an American male accent, I was like, are you serious right now? This is one person reading both characters, or all the characters, because then there's actually some extra characters in there that have different accents, and I was like blown away. It was absolutely amazing. It had me enchanted and involved in this story as well, and I just loved loved this narrator for this book. The next thing I'm going to talk about is A Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds, and this book is narrated by the author. Now, the author at the end of the narration states that he didn't write it to teach anybody anything. He didn't write it to, shine light on anything like that. This is just what was in his being, and he needed to transfer it out and share it with the world. And thank you, Jason Reynolds, for sharing it with the world, because this book of poems and your narration, your timing for how you felt when you read that poetry, it resonated, dude. I was there for it. I was all in this book of poetry, and which turned out for my listening ears into a short story, but I was there for it. I was feeling that character because your timing was absolutely amazing. And it's obvious that you had a certain way that you wanted it to be portrayed, and it was portrayed beautifully. Then the last thing I'm going to talk about is a new Camelot series by Simone, and that is American Queen, American Prince, and American King. This book I read in the beginning of 2018, and I loved every single minute of it. I didn't particularly care for the narrator in the female narrator in American Queen, but once I got to American Prince and American King, I was so there for it. So very there for it. I was there for those characters. I felt the emotion that came along with it. At one point, I was like, did that just happen? Wow. How did that? Oh, okay. Yes. I was just there for it. I was so into it, and I just loved every single moment of it. Now, so those are the 10 things that I listened to this year that will resonate with me. And, I think if you can really figure out a way to make your brain connect with audiobooks, you could fall in love with audiobooks. And these are the ones that definitely made my year in 2018 so much better, so much richer, and I loved every single minute of it. So, have you listened to any of those books that I just named off? Let me know down in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts about them were. Feel free to ask me some of my tricks, because I'm more than happy to let you know that. If you haven't seen my How I audiobook, please go check that out as well. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there's a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys later.